Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video, and welcome to a Huzzy Q&A. It actually kind of feels like I've not done one of these in a pretty long time. There should be footage on the screen right now, like league footage. It probably isn't the best gameplay, because if it was great, it would probably be uploaded as a video. And obviously, you know, if you haven't watched any of the recent content, why have you got blonde hair, Huz? So just to very quickly cover that to save the comment section. Obviously, I had blue hair recently. That was done because of the subathon and also donating to cancer research that we did a few months ago. And obviously, about a month ago now, I got it blue. In the background, I've got some good adult things going on, like meetings and stuff. And when you walk into one of those and you have blue hair, sometimes you just feel that you're not incredibly taken seriously, and it's, you know, quite important topics that I'm talking about. So we're in the process of kind of going back to more of a normal. So all we've done so far is remove the blue, and that has left like the bleached blonde. And then of me recording this, tomorrow I'm actually going back to the salon and getting a relatively normal colour, hopefully matching it to what is my norm. But obviously it's going to be quite hard to match it perfectly. But it won't stand out. It's not going to be people who are going to be like, oh, he's got blue hair or he's got bleached blonde hair. It will be a normal colour that will probably like match my beard and stuff like that. So it won't look out of the norm. But it was fun. You know, I had blue hair for a month. And I'm not going to rush to do it again, to be honest, because I'm a fairly confident person in some areas. But even that tested my confidence. Going out with blue hair, to be honest. Like, I don't need everybody in a shopping mall going blue hair. So yeah, I was wearing hats and stuff quite a lot when I was out in public for the past month. So there's that. So before we begin the actual Q&A that I've collected questions, we're going to cover a topic that I promised I'd cover in a bit more detail, and that is, are there server difference, or is there a server difference between EU Northeast and EU West? So the reason why I feel like I can talk about this now is we have fairly recently completed the Unranked to Diamond series. Obviously, we've extended it to do Unranked to Master now on EU Northeast, but we always do Unranked to Diamonds, always on EU West. We've now completed one on EU Northeast. So, is there a server difference? Do I feel like there is? Now, if you've watched the whole series, a lot of the points that I'm about to say, you would have probably heard throughout. But just to summarize, yes, there is a difference. And obviously, I don't want to upset people. If, you know, EU Northeast, if you're a Diamond player on EU Northeast, it's still Diamond. It's just relative to the server that you're on, and I don't want to take any achievement away at all. But there is a difference in the servers. And, you know, I can sit here and kind of pick apart individual things. But yes, there's a generic skill difference, I will say that. The games that I play nowadays, even we have got, you know, the account to like Diamond. Like earlier today, we had Diamond 1s in my team and the enemy team. But a lot of the time we have Diamond 2s and that floating around in the games. It's very much a different field than a Diamond 2 EU West game. Obviously, we were Diamond 2 on EU West a month ago or so. So I do still know what the feeling of Diamond 2, for example, feels like. And yes, there is a bit of a feeling of difference. It's not so much mechanical difference, I will say. A lot of the time it's the weird decision makings of why is someone there, why are they split pushing, when to do Dragon, when to do Baron. That seems to be the bigger difference that I would say is the knowledge-based side, the decision-making based side that is lacking. Mechanically, again, you get a good player on their champion, they're going to be fine. Like, mechanically, they'll be great. But the big things for me, I'd say the biggest server difference, and again, you let me know your experiences in the comments, but is disconnects / rage quits. I don't know what they are, but the amount that we've had of teammates leaving or even enemies leaving in the EU Northeast series has completely and utterly owned any past series on EU West. It is quite frightening how often someone is disconnecting all the time or just leaves the game on EU Northeast. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube and you're like, oh, the series hasn't been that bad, obviously I don't upload every video. If someone has been leaving a game, etc., it's pointless to upload. So quite a few games have not been uploaded because of that very reason. But it is a frightening amount. I would say at least double, maybe even more, the amount that happens on EU West. So that, to me, is the biggest server difference. That someone's like, name one of them. Yeah, the biggest one that I can just name individually is that. Behavior-wise, I mean, again, I don't play League with chat anymore. and I do think that is overall a good thing. But, you know, I think both servers, League as a whole is a fairly toxic game, and Riot has kind of given up when it comes to player behavior. So, yes, it's a toxic experience, but it's the same as a US. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's worse or better. I think it's just League. It's the way of it. When Riot doesn't care, nor does the player base, and it's pretty toxic overall. So, as my summary, you know, yes, there is a server difference. If someone had to give me like a rating difference, like if I had to give a rating difference of how big of a difference do I feel, with the account being floating around Diamond 3, Diamond 4 right now on the EU Northeast series, obviously we're making our way up to higher Diamond, I would probably say the games feel maybe mid to low plat rather than Diamond. And that is just a gut feeling. Obviously, that is just the way that I feel about it. It might not be that bad. In some games, it will be just the same. In other games, it's worse. That is just my gut feeling. If I would say Diamond 4 on EU Northeast is probably about Platinum 3 on EU West. That's like my gut feeling of how it is. Does that mean if you're a Diamond 4 player, if you transferred over, does that mean you'll never get Diamond in EU West? No, like you could probably get there. It just, obviously EU West is typically the hardest server to climb on for one. You know, it's hard to compare the servers, if I'm completely honest, because the player base is double on EU West. So when you have double the amount of players, that's double of everything. Like, there's better players on average because there's way more players. The same goes for NA, etc. There's a reason why, like, the people say the most competitive servers in the world tend to be the most heavily populated, because by just averages, there's going to be more better players on that server. So yeah, and obviously the more better players on that server, your game still only has 10 people in it. Well, that means the top places are still covered by only so many people. So it is, EU West, it is sometimes hard to, like, completely compare to the two servers, because EU West should be better than EU Northeast because it has double the players. So that is kind of like the summary of that. I don't want to upset people. That's the least thing I want to do. If you're a Diamond or a high-rating EU Northeast player, well done to you. You're still a Diamond high-rating player. All I would say is feel free to do the experiment yourself. If you are a really good EU Northeast player, make an EU West account and see how far you can go. Some of you probably will be completely fine. I will say it probably does depend what type of champion you play. Obviously, in Season 11... they've kind of demolished certain playstyles, a lot of which, like, if you're a team player, that playstyle sucks nowadays. So if you're that type of, like, I'm going to get really fed and kind of solo carry playstyle, that is the playstyle to do, let's be honest. And that generally isn't my playstyle. And I'll say we have some good episodes coming that I do play that way, and it shows that I can play that way. It's just not the playstyle that I love to do all the time. But yeah, that is the summary. People have asked me since obviously getting Diamond, will I talk about it? And there you go. So I didn't want to do anything crazy in depth because it is obviously quite hard to completely compare the two servers side to side. But yeah, there is a bit of a difference, but it's not catastrophically bad. And you should still feel accomplished if you're a high-rating EU Northeast player. But let's get into some questions now. So, what is my views on junglers who don't have any form of hard CC, example being Kindred? I mean, they have their place. It's not like they're terrible. All I would say is it's kind of high risk versus high reward. Is a Kindred completely can take over a game. She's all about damage, but sometimes ganks can get away from a Kindred because you can't get the hard CC. But comp, obviously, is what makes those champions sometimes great. If you have a hard CC mid laner that kind of works well with the jungler, whether it be a Kindred or a Graves or something like that, it doesn't really matter. Where it kind of can become a problem is if no one has got CC on your team. Then CC is a pretty important tool in League of Legends. So, and usually I would say a jungler is a pretty good kind of place to have CC is in the jungle. But obviously not every jungler does, and not every jungler has hard forms of CC. Like Kindred still, I think, has a slow with her E. Kha'Zix has a slow with his W. Not every jungler has hard CC. They have slows and stuff like that to make up for it. But yeah, I think honestly, still pretty good. It just depends on team comp a little bit more. Next question is, what games am I excited for in the upcoming year? Quite a lot, to be honest. Again, feel free to let me know what games you guys are looking forward to. The big one, that Hogwarts Legacy game, I'm really looking forward to that. And if you don't know what it is, it's like an open world Harry Potter game that you start in Hogwarts in year 1. You make your own character. It's kind of like Skyrim, but for Hogwarts. And go do everything. Have the adventure that I'm sure there's a bad guy in the story, but you do, I think from my knowledge, there's the different seasons throughout the year, your different classes you have to go to. But then, you know, after a year passes, then you go to the next year and the next year and the next year. That, to me, just sounds really fun. But there are other games. You know, the new Pokemon game, I actually said to my girlfriend the other day, I could really, really do with a new Pokemon game right now. I just feel like I'm in the mood for that. So, yeah, the new Pokemon games, obviously we got the remake of Pearl and Diamond, and then we have the Arceus, which looks a bit weird, but that game is coming out as well. And new, was it Total Empire or whatever it's called? That looks good to me. I loved those games growing up. Honestly, there is quite a lot of games I'm looking forward to. The rumor has it that they're Rockstar. Whether it comes out in the next year or so, I don't know. But there is a rumor that they are making remastered versions of Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 5. Which one would it be? The one before GTA Vice City or something like that. That will be sick if they are making that and it is a proper remake. I love those games. GTA Vice City was my first GTA. I played it when I was like 10 years old, which I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, like that would be good. And I'm sure I'm missing some big games out. For the life of me, God of War, the next God of War, obviously. Yeah, there's a bunch. Like I think unfortunately, with what's happened in the last 18 months to the world, it has delayed some games. Like I think Hogwarts Legacy was supposed to be out practically by now, but again, that's completely understandable. Is working from home, that is going to slow down a lot of work operations. It's completely understandable. Like at least for me. Again, some people say like any MMOs. I mean, the only MMO that I have on my radar is the League of Legends MMO, and we are many years from that coming out. I personally just don't have time for an MMO, but the reason why the League one is on my radar is if I am still a content creator when that comes out, you guys are a League audience, I think you guys will probably want me to play that game and make content about that game, so that's why that is on my radar. But apart from that, no MMOs. Next up is predictions for next season meta. If, you know, without being whatevers, I predict no change. Like, just judging off the balance team and what Riot has done, the amount of people that have absolutely hated this meta has seeming to have no effect on Riot whatsoever this year. They've kept the same meta practically for the whole year. So if they do change the meta, fantastic. I'll be great and happy about it, but I'm not expecting it because it just seems whoever's the balance team right now, they like the complete item fiesta roaming meta. That's what they wanted, because if they didn't, they could have changed it by now, and they haven't. So yeah. What did I got? The Lilia mini rework. If memory serves, if you mean that she gets healing through her passive, I don't know if that is specifically what you meant, but again, Lilia's Lilia. Lilia's quite a niche champion, different playstyle than a lot of champs, so you'll never see her being insanely popular, I don't think. But for a long time, she has been what I would deem a challenger pick. There are challenger people that are very effective on that champion, make the movement amazing on her, and they just make her look amazing. She can be played jungle, obviously still, that's a main role, but there are some people taking her top lane. I don't know whether you'd call it a cheese pick or not, maybe, but it's working there as well. Again, I might do a challenger spectate of that in the next couple of weeks. Give it a little bit of a watch and see what it's about. It seems to be very good against melee champions, obviously. And then the second is and on that topic, what did I think of the recent mini reworks in general? So obviously, yeah, we had Mumu, we had Lucian, I think we had Sona, but that one I don't know much about. It doesn't seem anything's changed, at least from the outs. You know, as someone that doesn't play Sona, it's still Sona. I'm all for Riot doing mini updates every now and then just to kind of make the game healthier. I think that hasn't been needed a lot this season and hasn't. So Lucian, I've never been a fan of lane Lucian, so him going back to bot lane is good in my book. And Mumu, the 2 Qs is always going to help the champion, but I think Mumu does still fall into the fundamental that he feels old. The only way that Amumu is ever going to be like, he's really good like he was at the beginning of Season 11 is if the items that he builds are too strong. That will bring Amumu into fruition. That it's not Amumu himself. And that's true for a lot of, I'd say, the older champions. You have 2 categories of strong champion, I believe, and there is some overlap. Strong due to items and strong due to kit. champions like EUNE, the items are sometimes negligible because the kit is so strong. Or even a Phelios to a certain degree. They can't balance that champion right because his kit. Or a Kali has had so many things taken away, the kit. But then there's been other champions that, oh my god, they synergize so well with the items, they're busted. And a lot of the time, if you actually see the champions that are the item broken champions, they're very basic mechanically. Because it's not the kit that's making them strong. And Moo probably is the best example for that. That literally, he was crazy strong at the beginning of the season because he synergized with Sunfire, damage was too high, Demonic Embrace was amazing on him, and then he was tanky as hell. It was nuts. So that's where I would kind of put the two pillars of strength. And yes, there is sometimes overlap in those, but it's either the kit is too strong or the items that champion uses, they're too strong too. But it is what it is. Next up is, what is my workout routine? So my workout routine at the moment, I'd say, isn't very hardcore. I've got a lot of things going on in my life in the background. Again, a lot of good things. And that has unfortunately hit a bit of time off the workouts, but I still try to do something at least every day. I have weights literally right down there. I've got a 5 kilo pair and a 12.5 kilo pair. If you're American, that's just over 10 pounds per dumbbell and just around over 25 pounds per dumbbell, something like that. I try my best to do daily dumbbell workouts, anything, even a few sets of overhand press or bicep curls or something, just to keep it going. And but you know, I am in the gym every week with my trainer, and I'm massively into deadlifting. I'm not doing bench press pretty much at all. That is probably I'm going to work on last, but we do deadlift the most, then squat. And obviously it's not just doing deadlift, it's accessory work as well. But yeah, we'll do a lot of deadlift. So right now I'm actually on a build phase of rep work, technique work. Kind of, again, when you're going for a new maximum PR, you know, personal record or whatever, PB, personal best, you can't just expect yourself to do that every week. When you're getting to the higher weights, you kind of have to like have a program that you're kind of working your way there. So when you eventually get there, your body's kind of prepped for it. So I hit 190 kilo deadlift, which again, I can't, let me get what that actually weighs for Americans, because you guys are my biggest audience, in pounds. So that's just shy of 420 pounds. And for my Brits out there, that is just shy of 30 stone. But yeah, 190 kilo, 419 pounds pretty much. That is currently my PB. But my year goal was 200 kilos. So a 200 kilo deadlift would be 440 pounds. We're currently working my way up to hit that in maybe the next 3 to 4 weeks. So right now it's all about basically repping for as high weight as I can for as many reps as possible. So like last week we were doing 160 kilo for 4 reps and like 4 or 5 sets. This week, I'm presuming we're probably going to, you know, rep for like 165 or 170 for, again, 3 or 4 reps, 4 or 5 sets as well. And, you know, if you get to the point that I'm repping a week before we go for that 200 kilo lift, if I'm repping at 180 kilo for 4 reps, 4 or 5 sets, that 200 kilo single lift isn't probably going to be a problem. Like, that's kind of the point. And obviously we do accessories to that, sometimes Romanian deadlift or good mornings or 18-inch wheel deadlifts or axle bar deadlift. Obviously there's a lot of things that can help to training the different areas of deadlift. But yeah, so I will obviously keep you guys updated. I'm sure I will if I hit the 200 kilo goal this year. I'm really hoping we're going to hit it. Obviously that's way... You know, I weigh about 180 pounds at the moment, so that's way over double body weight by quite a fair margin. It's like 2.5 times body weight at that point, something like that. So that would be awesome to hit that. And 200 kilos, not light, you know, that's not bad. In my weight category, that is getting to a near competitive level for powerlifting. And powerlifting is eventually where I want to go, maybe, but I'm still at least, I'd say, a year out because I need to train my squat a bit better. I think I've maximum done a 160 kilo squat, which isn't that great. I could do more than that. But bench press, I've basically not done at all. So that would be my 100%. My weakness would be bench right now. So yeah, like it's going to be awesome. And obviously that 160 kilo was back when I was training squat more than deadlift, and that obviously was for only 1 rep. Single max, obviously that's what powerlifting comps are all about. Continuing on though, you mentioned reading a self-help book not long ago. What did I take from it? Yeah, so if you don't know, I was reading, a happiness book and stuff like that. It was good. Like, it basically made me realize in a way that I can't make everybody happy. Like, that has been something as a content creator that I've always tried to do, but then had internal battles that I don't want to upset people. I don't want, to say the wrong thing. And the fact of the matter is, I am occasionally going to rub people the wrong way, even if I don't mean to. People are going to disagree with me. People aren't going to always like what I am or who I am or whatever. And that's okay. Like, it's accepting that. And that has really helped me also kind of, in a weird way, be a better content creator, because I'm just me. Like, I am who I am. And I'm not trying to please every single person. I am going to say things that people are like, oh, screw that Huz guy. Like, it's going to happen. And that's okay, because that's life. So honestly, it was really good, and I'd recommend it if anybody out there is struggling. It's not a bad thing to struggle mentally. We've all had an insane 18 months, and it does look like I am starting therapy soon. I'm going to be talking to some, I've never done it before, and it was recommended to me. And I'm looking forward to it. Obviously I've got a great support circle, family, girlfriend, friends, but sometimes a professional can kind of from the outside look in and help in some areas. So I am looking forward to that as well. And obviously, at least the way that media kind of says it, is that it seems to be a very normal thing in America to kind of go to therapy and talk to a therapist. It's not as a normal thing here in the UK, but I'll tell you guys about it to a certain degree. I'll tell you if it's been worth it or not for me personally. And if that helps one person make the decision of them doing it as well, and it helps them, then why not? So that should be my first session, should be in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Next though is potentially last question. Let's try to end on a positive about a league change. So good question actually is, since people are so negative about the item change, what was your favorite part about the item rework? Personally, Orkaz says, I find the idea of making the jungle item consumable a great, and it really saves some late games for me. Honestly, I might agree with you, and I don't want to take the easy answer, but I've not been shy that I've not liked the new items. I think it's been terrible. I think it's made the balance harder than ever, and I think it's failed in what Riot wanted to do. So for me personally, it's been really bad, but if we are trying to seek a positive, yeah, I probably would just agree. The idea that the jungle item is a consumable, that it just disappears, and you don't, as a jungler, feel that you have to have that, oh, I've done that jungle item that makes my smite stronger. You don't have to have that anymore. You can have a proper, completed 6-item build as a jungler and not feel that you've got that kind of strong early game item, weak late game item for jungling. I actually think that's really good, and I thought that was great. So that is probably my answer as well, to be honest. Apart from that, I struggle to think of a positive, if I'm completely honest, and I'm not trying to be awkward or whatever. I've just really not liked the items. But that is going to be it. If you guys enjoyed this Q&A, again, not done one in, I don't know, 2 months maybe? I'm not really sure, a month or two. Do throw a like on the video. Let me know how you're doing down below, hopefully well. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed whatever video is on the screen. Again, if the video ran out before the Q&A, then you would have seen my full face covering the screen. But hopefully I had a video that wasn't too bad to show throughout the whole Q&A. But anyway, that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.